Europe's defining geopolitical emotion has been fear. Fear of escalation, fear of acting, fear of discovering that without the US, Europe was weak. What changed recently is not that Europe suddenly became stronger, it's that it stopped being paralyzed by fear. The hard beginning of 2026 was a psychological break, not a victory, but a moment of clarity. Europe realized that it can act and even survive even under pressure. This matters because until now, European policy was built around one simple assumption: escalation must always be avoided, even at the cost of credibility. That assumption collapsed when the US openly threatened its allies over Greenland with tariffs and over security guarantees in ways that destroyed trust. What is new is how Europe responded. Instead of immediate capitulation, they did something unfamiliar. They held the line, knowing that they might lose. Europe knows it would likely lose a direct confrontation with the US in several domains, and yet, for the first time, that knowledge did not translate into automatic submission. The idea of a global pole, articulated so well by Carney, one no longer submitted to the United States, opened a door mentally. Europe suddenly stopped narrating itself primarily as what it cannot do. This matters because it's years that now Europe narrates itself as Europe is divided, Europe is weak, Europe cannot act. This started to be flipped. When we compare ourselves to the internal polarization of the US or China's vertical authoritarianism, well, paradoxically, the EU appears, at least internally, not so fractured. The gap is no longer between Europe and reality, but between Europe's image of itself and what it can already do. None of this means that Europe suddenly solves its problems. On the military, institutional, and economic front, there remain huge problems. Even just this week, Europe opened a strategic horizon and then stalled on Mercosur, showing how incomplete the shift I'm talking about still is. Still, a new feeling hangs in the air: the understanding that acting together, even imperfectly, is less dangerous than permanent indecision. This is the end of reflexive fear, and that may turn out to be the most important strategic resource Europe gained this year.